Alright, Grandpa, here's how I set up the solar panels. We got the main controller, which is this little guy here. Probably costs about 15 bucks. You can see that there's readouts for how much charge the battery has. Right now you can see that the solar panel is indicator saying it's charging the battery. And that there's the little light bulb, I think just means that there's light coming. There is the settings on the left, well, the little things on the left that tell you what's what this thing does, and then USB ports to charge stuff. At the bottom you got 6 connectors. The 2 on the left, you'll see the positive and negative cords that go to the charger themselves, which these are the connectors, those 2 guys that are going into the underside of the solar panel, and there's your solar panel right there with the sunlight shining on it nicely. The 2 in the middle are going to the clamps that are connected to the battery itself. So you see the 2 negative positive clamps. Those clamps are massive, but they work. I tried some smaller ones and they seemed real flimsy, like they'd fall off. And then the 2 on the right are connected to, for me, just to this little guy, which is a card. Usually it used to have a cigarette lighter adapter on the cord end here that I cut and plugged in. That plugs into this, so now you have a regular grounded outlet with another couple USB ports, so you can charge just any number of things. You can charge a laptop off of this. You can charge, you can run certain things. I don't know if you could run any kind of appliances, but small electronics. I charge my cell phone just to play around with it. But that's the long and short of it. So the wiring, the size, the gauge of the wires, the distance from the battery, certain things do come into play, which I think in this size doesn't really matter too much because we're not dealing with heavy amps or volts or anything like that, so it's not like it's going to overheat the wires or cause any problems. They're cold. Everything's nice and cold. It's chilly out anyway. But anyway, I don't know, kind of a neat little project. But if you had this, instead of clamping this to this standalone battery here, which isn't doing much, you could plug this into your boat battery. You can plug this into, if you had like a remote little place that had lights on it, you could plug it into that. Any number of things that's far away from the power grid. Why not? This is an easy way to get electricity places that are pretty remote. And in the end, the whole setup, I'm going to say, probably costs, I want to say 300 and maybe around that, but because the panel itself is 100 and something, but everything else, wires, clamps, all that stuff, adds up to a little over 100 and some bucks. Not because anything's expensive, but just because there's a lot of little pieces. And in the end, it's more convenience. Then you're not doing this to save money on electricity. You're doing this to get electricity somewhere where you normally couldn't. That's about it. Cool.